with your colleagues. So we are here to discuss ways for year-round programs, youth programs, any programs, to go virtual. And let's see what's on the agenda. So first, I'm going to share with you a little bit about what is the Clickto platform. And then we are going to see how it was used by many camps to run a virtual camp this past summer, and with a special guest, Adam. And then we're going to show you what's the next step. All right, so we're going to start. I want to tell you a little bit about how we got to all this. So we are running camps for 13 years, camps and different programs for 13 years, not virtual, in person. And in March, of course, with the coronavirus spread, when the pandemic started, we had to rethink about what we're doing. And we actually started a virtual camp, an online camp for kids and teens in Israel, in the US, and other countries. And we had such an amazing feedback from parents, from the kids, from the staff, that we couldn't imagine. And we decided that this is something that will be long-term. This is something that is here to stay. It's not a replacement for in-person programs, but it's just such an amazing new channel for delivering content, delivering the social interaction. And based on that experience, we went to develop a platform to allow any camp to run a virtual program this summer. So that's how Clickto was created. I want to show you a quick video about what's the experience for a participant on Clickto. It still has the clickto.camp brand from the summer. And then we'll move on to what's it about, and how our programs can use it. So let's take a quick look, 1 minute, and we'll be back.
We're gonna fold it as follows. Fold it as follows. Fold it as follows. Hi guys, I'm here. I can see.
So anyway, you can find this video on our YouTube channel as well. So just a few things about Clickto. So the one major benefit of the platform is that your participants will only get one link from you. It's not giving them a link to a new Zoom call every day or something like that. They get one link, and that one link is a magic link. It's a magical link that takes them throughout the whole program to where their group is. So you can build very complex schedules and groups and activities and spaces and rooms, and don't have to worry about how this will all be managed. This is your one-stop place to manage everything and send one link to the participants with one click, and that's it. They'll just show up where they're supposed to. Another thing is the scheduling board, which is very intuitive and very simple to use for you guys to assign your groups to the different activities for the sessions, for the weeks, for the months. You're gonna get online ongoing support from our team in New York to help you plan and run your program successfully. And the experience is very interactive and intuitive. So for the participants, especially if they're younger. They don't need to click anything. They just have that one link that takes them to the room where the activity is. And you get staff management, supervision, and it's fully secured, and it runs on all platforms, on mobile, on iOS, Android, Mac, Windows, anything. So let's take a quick look, really quick. Those are just samples of the screens that the participants see. They can be branded with your pictures, with your logo, with your name, and it will show their name and their group number or group name. And it will count down to when their activity begins, or just take them right away to the activity. And this is just a little preview of what you're getting as a user at Clickto when you design and build all the different pieces of the puzzle of your program, such as the activities, the spaces, and schedule. So that's how it looks like. And we also have one interesting website to check, which is the Fair. That's where you can book live experiences by great providers, content providers that will just show up in your program and deliver really cool classes or guest appearance, guest workshops. So this is another great place to check out. That's just to give you a little sense of what it is. And now, Ronnie, let's talk a little bit about what happened this summer.
Okay, so we gathered some information for you so you can see how people run their other organizations are running their virtual programs, what kind of activities they do, how many hours a day. So here you can see that yoga is very popular online. There's cooking, talent show, dance, and then many other sport and arts and crafts and different computer activities that you can see on the left side of the cake. Most of our clients, they ran a full day of 5 to 6 hours daily. Some of them did 1 hour, and then another popular model was 2 to 3 hours a day. And we got the ages for you as well, so you can see that most of the campers were were from 1st to 6th grade, and then some of the older kids were using the platform as well. So here's just food for thoughts. And I want to invite Adam, who's here, to turn on his camera and his microphone. Hi, Adam.
Hello. How's
Long
everything?
time no see. Thank you for joining us. And are you doing well?
I'm doing great. We just wrapped up our Thursday programming for the day. We run our program, our camp program, which is called Summer in the Cloud. We start at 9:30 and we go until 12. And then we have an optional 1 hour open choice time in the afternoon from 4 to 5 that a number of kids, about 30 or so kids, also sign up for in addition to the morning session. So we're wrapped up for the day, and it was a great day. It was a lot of fun.
Cool. So before I'll ask you a couple of questions, I just want to say, if anyone has questions for Adam, the way they run their program, any tips that you want to hear from him, you're welcome to write questions in the ask question on the left side, and Adam will do his best to reply to everything. So Adam, if you can just give us a little bit of background, how did you, make it happen? What were your expectations?
Yeah.
Are you having fun?
Well, first of all, I'm definitely having a great time. I'm loving it. It's been really wonderful, and amazingly, there are many moments over the summer where it really has felt like camp, even though this wasn't intended to replace in-person camp. But to give a little bit of the background, I'm in New York City. I work at the Y of Washington Heights. We're a JCC in Upper Manhattan, and what was happening in this area, obviously there were many camps that couldn't operate in person, many JCCs that, in addition to not being able to operate their camps in person, didn't really have the critical mass or potentially even the staff to run a virtual program for just their communities. And so we combined forces with 2 other JCCs in Manhattan, the 14th Street Y and the JCC Manhattan, And our three directors, myself and the two directors of those agencies, came together, and we built Summer in the Cloud as a virtual product that could be provided to all of the JCCs of the New York area. So we have somewhere close to 20 JCCs who are participating in this program. And the great thing about it is that because we combined, we actually have a critical mass. We have over 90 campers a week who are participating in the program. I think if any of us were sort of doing it on our own, maybe 20, 25 kids a week. And that doesn't really provide you the opportunity to run a full program. So we've been running this now. We're in our 7th week. It was so popular that we actually extended for an additional week next week. And it's been really wonderful and really great to see the smiling faces every day and to get the emails from our parents who are so appreciative of the fact that we've provided this experience, which admittedly I think everyone came into a little skeptical. How's this going to be? How is my kid going to like it? And they're not only incredibly appreciative of what we've provided, but they're so thankful that their kids are having such a great time and are really loving it and are feeling like they've had a camp experience. And so we're really proud of not just the collaboration, but the final product as well.
Awesome. So I think, I think the one question that we get the most is how do you keep your campers engaged? And I'm sure it's been a challenge, or at least one you were thinking about before going into it. Can you tell us a little bit about, what works well in the virtual and, how do you keep your campers engaged?
Yeah. So a couple pieces in building the program is that we wanted to sort of take the elements of our in-person camp that we know are successful, some of the rituals, right? So we start every morning with a Boker Tov or a flagpole where we're singing the camp songs and we're doing some of those fun games and things like that the kids are really excited about. We use puppets a lot because one of the things we realized is that a lot of camp songs are call and response. And it's hard to do that in a virtual space. So we use puppets, right? So the puppets are actually doing the response, and that's a lot of fun. And the puppets are now like these characters that when we go back to in-person camp, God willing, soon, the kids want to see the puppets at camp as well. And it's been really exciting and really fun. And then we looked at some of the activities that we do at camp in the summer that could be in virtual, like theater and music, and all of the arts activities, some nature activities. We're doing some gardening at home, and building bird houses and things like that. So those things worked really well. And then looking at other activities that maybe we've never done before in a virtual space, but are able to, in an in-person space, but are able to provide virtually. Things like, Dungeons and Dragons, which has been super popular. We're running this week a sports talk workshop, which is like combining sports broadcasting and sports debate. And, and the kids are just like excited to talk about sports. And it's so different because at camp we're playing sports. Doesn't always work as well in a virtual space. We don't want any broken windows and mashed up living rooms, but sports talk is something that was fun and the kids are really into it. Cooking has been one of our most popular activities, and for the younger kids it's more of like prep as opposed to cooking. Then they cook it later with their parents, but it's been really, really successful and really positive. To answer the question that's in the chat here, we've had just under 200 unique campers over the 7 weeks in our program, and a lot of return campers that continue to come back and continue to add on every week.
I popped up because I wanted to ask the audience, our guests, if you can just click the ask a question button, and even if you don't have a question, just tell us your situation. If you what kind of program are you running, and what is your situation right now in short, so we can also address the situations that you guys are in.
I wanted to add as well one piece. Dotan, you'd said before that one of the key components of the platform is to be able to provide one link, and that's their link for the day. I mean, I think that's the best component of the platform, because all of the things that we heard prior to launching this program from families, and from educators as well, is that it was very difficult to manage as parents all the different links and all the different classes that they have to go to, and being able to send at the beginning of the week one link for their entire week for all the classes that they're scheduled to, and every morning they just click that link and it takes them wherever they want to go. And even if they have an appointment and they're an hour late and they click the link an hour late, it's going to take them to where they need to be in that hour. But I think if I was to take a secondary feature of the platform that I feel is really valuable, it's all of the back end preparation that you can do. You create your schedule, you have all of your times, you put all the activities in place, you see it all there very clearly, you know which kids are supposed to go where, you can plan your day. And I don't think we were using Zoom for meetings and other things prior to our camp program. You don't have any of that functionality. It's not there. It doesn't exist. You can't run a full scale everyday weekly program in a platform like Zoom. This platform provided us the opportunity to really, really push what we were capable of and what we could do in terms of the program. And I would also add that the Clickto Camp team has been really responsive to any needs that we had. Our program is very much elective based, and they were able to push updates to allow us to do electives in the way we needed to do them, and to provide the flexibility in the platform that we wanted, so that we could really do all the things we needed to do with our program. So we're so appreciative and so thankful of that.
You're very welcome. I actually want to go back. You said you heard from educator about how difficult it was and the concerns. How would you say your team has adjusted to running virtually? And also, it is a new platform, so they weren't used to it.
The beginning was hard, I will say, admittedly, because it was a new platform. We had all been on Zoom for months before our program launched, and everybody was very comfortable and very familiar with it, even those who are not so tech savvy. And so it was like learning, they had to learn something new. But once we got in there and once they played around and they saw exactly all the features, like, everyone loved it actually even better than Zoom, right? Like, the Unico rooms allow you to have your own room where you can add your own files, and the files stay in that room. So anytime you want, you have rules for your classroom, you can just click the link, click the file. It's up there for everyone to see. You can save things on the whiteboard. You can play music in the background. There's a lot of functionality that isn't really so easy in a Zoom setting. So it took some time to get used to. And once they did, everyone really loved it. And I think, more than anything, for the educators that are working with us this summer who were teaching virtually before this program, so many of them were really frustrated and quite frankly a little exhausted with the remote learning. But being able to run a program like this, where they're having fun and they're enjoying it, and they see the kids smiling and enjoying the class every day, it really taught them, and we've heard this feedback from it taught them that, like, this remote learning can be fun. And it's really shifted their mindset on what it can be like and how it can go. And I know that, at least for those who've worked with us, for sure some of the other programs that are out there that are running virtually and doing just as amazing things as we are, they're gonna go into the school year with a better mindset and a better outlook on how they can be leading their classes and how their schools will run during the rest of the time that we have to stay remote.
And are you considering any year-round, like holiday camps, winter camp, now when you're so good at it and you have your, community that is on board?
Yeah.
Any thoughts of next step?
Yeah. So, it it's interesting that we have this collaboration with these JCCs, and it's a wonderful collaboration. And oftentimes during the year, we all run our own camps in the same areas, and we're competing for the same kids. But now we've turned off the competition side of our brain, and we're really thinking about collaborating. And all of our JCCs are also looking for opportunities for this to continue, because we've been able to create such a beautiful community through this program. And so we're going to continue to have our educators get together either once every week, or once every 2 weeks, or once a month, to continue to share and work together and build that educator base. And we're absolutely looking at opportunities to run vacation camps in December and February break. There's a lot unknown in terms of what the school schedule is going to look like, and whether there will actually be breaks. I think we're still on March break right now.
Yeah.
But we've been absolutely having those conversations, and I think because of what the beautiful community that we've been able to create over the summer, I think we'll absolutely continue to look for opportunities to bring this community together.
Great. So I see we have a question here, Adam. How much do you charge for your camp?
So that's a great question. The program, as I said, runs 9:30 to 12, and for that morning few hours for the week, we charge $145, and then it's $185 if they want to add the afternoon, so an additional $40. And any camper who wants to just do the afternoon, maybe their mornings are set, they just want that hour in the afternoon, it's $60 for the afternoon. But that's been a very small minority of campers that have chosen that option. It's mostly campers that are doing the morning, and that's $145 for the week.
Awesome. So again, I'm going to encourage you, if you have other questions for Adam. And I was just about to say the 10. I'm sure you have more questions. So do you?
Yeah, I was going to ask. I mean, this is we invited people that are interested in running a year-round program, after-school programs, etc. And I was wondering what kind of tips you might have for them for maybe specific activities or workshops that work really, really well in camp that can be definitely been implemented year-round.
Yeah. I would say that the things that have been really successful are the things that you can definitely do on a computer already, like graphic design, digital design, Minecraft, very popular. There's never enough time for Minecraft. They just all want to be in the Minecraft world forever. Those things are really great. And then, there's also something to be said for the time when they're just interacting. We built in break times into our day. So between the two elective periods, between 10:45 and 11 o'clock, we have break time. And it's meant to be a screen break if they want it, but we're also in the room to just chat and hang out. And we usually have some great conversations in those spaces. And so I would also suggest, in thinking about your year-round programming, building in time where specific age groups, whether it's the fourth graders or the third graders, they kind of have their own rooms where they can interact and talk and share and joke and play around. We do theme days. Like yesterday was superhero day, so everybody was wearing masks and costumes, and there's no reason why you can't continue to do all of those fun things that are a part of the camp program or your year-round programs in a virtual space. You can absolutely do it. There can be dress-up days. There can be silly days. There can be songs and cheers and different fun things like that. And we love it when we see the kids interacting, not just crosstalk in the room where everyone's mic is on and they're talking, but also in the chat. That's something that's been really unique to see kids interacting in the chat with each other, which has been really fun to watch.
Great. There are two questions. So the one question by Elisa, I think it's a follow-up question about the value of your program, how you pitch it to parents versus the value of in-person program. And I want to add to that question, generally, what did you feel the value for parents was? How much were they involved? Did they have to really work at it? Like some parents say that they have to work at it when the kids are doing remote learning at school, or was it very independent experience for the participants, the campers?
Yeah, I mean, we set some goals on the onset of this program that we wanted it to be as parent-free as possible, and we wanted to foster independence in the same way that we might in an in-person camp. And so, there have been moments where we see parents doing art on the side while their kids are also doing the art class. So I kind of see like the parent painting while the kid is painting, which is really nice to see. But for the most part, we wanted to design this as an opportunity for kids to engage with us and for parents to take a step back. And if they're working remotely from home, great, you do your work and we got this. From time to time, there might be a camper with a tech issue, maybe their sound cut out or there's something with their computer and, they have to reboot or refresh. And there are times when those kids might be a little younger and need a little support. So a parent would have to step in. But, I mean, that's a small minority of the time. And, like 97% of the time, kids are in the program, are there, are interacting, are engaged, and it's completely parent-free and parent hands-off. And I think that's kind of how we sold the program. Like, we wanted parents to know that, this you can work and you can leave them to their own devices, and we got them, and we'll be fine. I think with some of the classes that are a little bit more instructive, a little bit more hands-on, like a cooking class, or in the gardening class where they're building, birdhouses and things like that, we see a little bit more parent interaction, but we're honest and overt about that. Like, we let the parents know weekly sort of like what the lesson plan is, what the supplies needed are. And so they know when they probably have to be a little bit more hands-on, and it's expected and understood. And if they can't be, then they can choose a different class, and we're open to those options for different opportunities.
Ronnie?
No, I think it covered the second question as well. I actually have there was a
question here about safety. How does it work as far as being responsible for their safety? So we also, before the summer starts, we sent a family handbook. We talked about the fact that we want the kids to be independent and to learn the activity, but we are not babysitting you can't leave them alone in the house while we are, this is not childcare, and we're very clear about that. We have a program, we're engaging them, but you can't completely leave them alone, because if something were to happen, we can't actually step in and help. And so we were very overt about that as well, that parents do have to be, nearby or at least close by in case there's an issue. But that's something we definitely said at the onset.
It's interesting, your how the way that the parents were involved or not really involved in your experience. And that was actually one of the things that was very important for us when we developed this whole platform. We started from running our own program, and we said one of the biggest issues is that parents need the time. They can't just, they can't become the teachers. They need to work. And we wanted to create a platform that would be very, very easy and intuitive and with no clicks. Like once a younger kid has to start clicking and going to calendars or find their right link, that's a mess, and that's where parents had to be involved. Great. So we have time, I think, for one or two more questions, Ronnie.
Yeah. So your staff, their ages, and also the ratio of your staff members, like how many staff members for a group of campers?
Yeah, great questions. So our staff are
And so also if you can tell us what is the regular ratio at your camp, just so we will know if you needed to make any adjustments going virtual.
Sure. So typically in our in-person camp, it's 2 counselors for a group of like 12 to 16. And that's how we manage the program. For this program, we knew that we wanted to maintain our teams from our in-person camp, and the upper echelon of that team, our leadership teams, because those are the staff who have continued with us, have made an investment in us. And so our staff for this program tends to be a lot older. I think everyone except for 2 are college graduates, and adults working in their field, teachers, educators of all ages. But I think our youngest staff member is like 24 maybe. And that's different from in-person camp. In-person camp, we're hiring 17, 18, 19, 20-year-olds for primarily most of the counselor positions. The thing about class size is that we learned, and we learned this from the remote learning beforehand, is that you can't have a class size of 15 or 16, especially in an educational setting. If you're working on something and the educator is helping that child with something, and then they go on to the second child and the third child and the fourth child, by the time they get through everyone and come back to that first child, 20 minutes have passed, and that camper could already be onto something different. I mean, it's so easy to click out or to open a new tab and do something and we wanted to keep the focus. And so we've capped all of our classes at 8. And some of them, you could argue that some of those classes, 8 might be even a little bit too much. For example, our Dungeons and Dragons class, which is very popular, we've tried to cap that at 6 or 7. It's so popular that it's been hard to do that. But I think it's important to keep class sizes smaller. And we always have 2. We have a specialist and a group leader in each of those classes. So we've kept them relatively small, and it's been really successful in doing that, because then it's a small group. They can interact with each other nicely. You have a lot of time to spend with each person individually, and then they really feel like they're engaged. They don't have the time to flood out and do other things and go elsewhere. In terms of the question here, how do we deal with discipline issues? There's a number of different ways. As we all know, it's really easy to just mute somebody in a virtual setting. But primarily what happens is we utilize the breakout rooms. So there is the function in Unico, similar to other platforms that you may have used, where you can set up a breakout room. You can start it really quickly. You can move the camper automatically into a breakout room with the group leader. They can talk one-on-one. They can work out some of the issues. Sometimes that also helps if there's a tech issue, for example. If somebody's not hearing or their microphone's not working, we'll grab them and put them in a breakout room. We try to troubleshoot that problem, and then we bring them right back. And it's pretty seamless. We don't have any issues in that way. And from time to time, we've had maybe a couple times this summer that I can think of where a camper was just really having difficulty and kind of just, clicked out. And, as the directors, when that happens, typically what we'll do is we'll call the parent, or we'll contact the parent. Are they okay? Is everything all right? I noticed they were having some difficulty. Do they want to try to come back on, and we can help them out? It's very similar to how that would work in person. If a camper was having a difficult day, we'd call the parent. We'd see how they're doing at home. We'd let them know what was going on so that they could support them as well at home when the program is over. And so it's very similar to in person.
Adam, I really want to thank you. I think it was very insightful, as always. So thank you for joining us and sharing your experience.
Yeah.
And we will send a recording, so if anyone would want to, listen to it again and get some more information, so we will.
Yeah, and I think the last thing I would say is, I know that most of you here are looking at year-round programming and what that looks like. There's lots of examples throughout the field not just ours, but you can look locally. I'm not sure where everybody is, but locally, connect with any of the organizations that were running virtual programs. Many of the Jewish camps in the country have been doing this very successfully, and with a lot of support from their communities. And we're all proud of what we've accomplished. And I think that you can look to us and any of those in your community to be a guide for how you run your year-round programming, because it's absolutely possible to do, and it's 100% possible to be just as successful. So,
thank you.
Great. We will just, Adam, first of all, I want to thank you and wish you a successful last day tomorrow.
No,
And
next week, we added another week.
Added 8 weeks.
A successful last week next week.
Thank you.
That's what I meant. Thanks a lot. And we will now, we will have just one more part for this webinar. So thanks, Adam.
Thank you.
And before we going to invite you guys to a demo, private demo for you, and a free trial to just start playing with it, because as Adam said, it's fun. First of all, it makes it all very fun to do. I want to show you a few seconds of experience from one other camp that ran on Clickto this past summer. From Illinois, Camp and Frankel, and we'll see that for a few seconds, and then we'll give you that invitation. So here it is. Hope this time it will show to me as well.
Example of camp, because all I did was put a towel on my head, and now everyone is...
Oh, I think our director is doing it now.
Like, no one does it.
Oh.
All right, told you it's fun. So, all right, so you guys are invited to explore. First of all, I know a lot of you are interested in the pricing. So our model that started in this summer, pricing model is a pay-as-you-go, or it's cost $1.99 for a participant day, and you just buy as many credits as you need. Once you can buy every week based on the number of credits you're going to need for the following week, or buy enough credits to run a few weeks in advance. But now we are also going to offer a special fixed monthly fee subscriptions or volume discount based on your volume, based on the size of your program. So we would like to meet you for a demo and hear about the size of your program and how we can help you. We are here to help. We are definitely here for many different types of programs, and we get contacting us, people contacting us from all over the country with different types of programs. So we invite you for a demo with the team in New York to get your free account to start with, and then just start playing with it, building some sample schedule of your program and test it maybe with some of your participants or internally. And I'll put the link here right here. You can also just use it to click it in a second when we're done. And I invite you to also check out our Facebook page, clickto.camp, and our YouTube channel. And of course, everything is through the website. So go and schedule your demo. It will just ask you to find the right spot on your calendar that is free for you in the next few days, and you can meet Ronnie and Gal and Allison and everybody on the team. Ronnie, do you have anything to add before we say goodbye?
No, I invite you to come meet us in person, in our virtual offices in person.
In person. All right, and I want to wish everybody a successful year, successful school year, successful program year, and we hope to be able to help you to take your program to the next step and start something fresh, something innovative, and that will not just be a solution for where we are right now, but something that might be another opportunity for the future of your organization, for the future of your program. So stay in touch. Hope to see you in the demo and have a great rest of the week. Bye bye, everyone.